Hello everyone, my name is Yasuhiko Yamazaki. I am a japansese independent journalist based on internet media. I am also a political and social activist. I am broadcasting every day in Japanese YYNewsLive, except Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. in local time for more than 8 years. Approximately 500 persons are watching every time. I started English-Japanese broadcast bi-weekly on Wednesday night from the 7th 2015 in order to talk directly to 1.4 billions of English speakers around the world to let them know the hidden and unknown truths on Japan and the world. Please listen to the English radio based on the English-Japanese broadcast, YYNewsLive, held yesterday Wednesday on the 16th of June 2021. YY News English Radio. Why is the appearance of Japan and the actual identity so different? Number 1, at first glance, Japan looks like a democratic and modern nation, but in reality, Japan is a super dictatorship nation, where the U.S. puppet party Liberal Democratic Party, LDP, controls everything. At first glance, Japan looks like an independent democratic and modern nation as follows. 1. An independent nation with sovereignty. 2. A democratic nation with sovereignty of people. 3. An equal nation without discrimination. 4. A non-dictatorship nation where the separation of powers of state works. 5. A pacifist nation. 6. A nation with freedom and human rights that respects individual freedom and basic human rights. 7. A good neighbor nation that maintains and develops peaceful and friendly relations with neighboring countries. However, actual Japan has a completely different identity from the above appearance. 1. At first glance, Japan looks like an independent nation with sovereignty. But in reality Japan is a U.S. colonial state, where the U.S. puppet party LDP controls everything and gives to U.S. the national sovereignty and the national assets. Post-war Japan was an occupied country by the U.S. occupation forces, GHQ, for 7 years from 1945 to 1952. And from the independence in 1952 by concluding the San Francisco Peace Treaty to the present, Japan is a dictatorship nation, dominated for 69 years by the puppet party LDP, where the opposition has never undergone a full-scale change of power. 2. At first glance, Japan looks like a democratic nation with sovereignty of people, but in reality, Japan is a super dictatorship nation dominated by the Prime Minister, where the Prime Ministers of the U.S. puppet party LDP monopolizes and controls 3 national powers of state, the Cabinet, the Diet and the Supreme Court. 3. At first glance, Japan looks like an equal nation without discrimination. But in reality Japan is a discrimination nation, where discrimination is institutionalized by the Emperor system, GHQ General Commander MacArthur, the U.S. ruling class agent who occupied Japan after the war, democratized and changed the pre-war Emperor system as the best tool to control Japan. He positioned the imperial family as a special existence, vis-a-vis the people, and institutionalized discrimination. 4. At first glance, Japan looks like a non-dictatorship nation, with separation of powers of state, but in reality Japan is a dictatorship nation, where separation of powers of state is not stipulated anywhere in the Constitution of Japan. In actual Japan, The Parliament and Cabinet are united and the Prime Minister monopolizes the two national rights under the system in which the representative of the political party that has won the majority of the seats in the lower house by the parliamentary cabinet system is automatically appointed as the Prime Minister. Doing. Japan has a system of parliamentary cabinet system, in which a representative of parties that have won a majority of the seats in the House of Representatives in the general election is automatically appointed as Prime Minister. It means that the Prime Minister of Japan could monopolize alone two powers of state, the Diet and the Cabinet. Furthermore, under the provisions of the Article 6 Paragraph 2 of the Constitution of Japan, the right to appoint the Chief of the Supreme Court is given to the Prime Minister under the name of the Emperor. In other words, the Japanese Prime Minister is the super dictator, who controls and manages alone the three powers of state, the Diet, the Cabinet and the Supreme Court. 5. Japan looks like a non-war Pacific nation, according to the Article 9 of the Constitution of Japan. But Japan is actually a great military power, with the world's fifth largest military self-defense force. Japan is a U.S. military alliance nation, obliged to participate in the wars initiated by U.S. by the Japan-U.S. Security Treaty. At first glance, Japan looks like a nation that respects individual freedom and human rights, but in reality Japan is a nation of inconvenience and disregard for human rights. This is because the text of the Articles 12 and 13 of the Constitution of Japan stipulate restrictions of individual freedom and human rights, as long as they do not violate the public welfare. 7. At first glance, Japan looks like a good neighbor nation that maintains and develops peaceful and friendly relations with neighboring countries, but in reality, Japan is a war crime nation that has not officially apologized and has made any compensation to the victims of the countries of the Asia-Pacific aggression wars, led by the Emperor Hirohito in the 1930s-1945. End of number 1.